Hey everybody, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. We're putting out a little contest here. Anybody can be on this little contest. As long as they've got internet access where they can get into our studio, we're going to produce an entire video all about a select business to be our winner. A lot of people do know we produce a lot of our own productions for a lot of businesses that want us to help them get the word out about themselves. But we're going to produce an entire 28-minute interview right here in our studio for you entirely for free. Get a hold of us, contact us, or fill out the form on our website. Go to beontvcontest.com. This is a $7,500 value. The entire episode is then cut up into clips where you can then put those clips on your social media. Get a hold of us. We partnered up with clicks.pro to put this together. A great opportunity for your business to be highlighted. Giddy up. Welcome everyone. Another special edition of the Your Little Castle Show. Periodically, we do some fun community stuff. Yours truly, the Cardinal Cowboy. We're always looking to bring out the best of St. Louis and our region and across the country. We've had guests from all over the United States on our show. Some of them come in remotely. Some of them drive here. Some of them fly here. We had a guest from in for Orlando recently. And it's just really neat to highlight the people that are making a difference, the people that are helping contribute to the community. A lot of people know I have a lot of fun on the music scene out there. I have a little bit of an aptitude to at least enjoy music. I don't know how good I am at singing, but something I thought I could sing well enough to put me on stage for a little while. I do that periodically. But that's where my affinity from my mom's background as a drama teacher. But I never took that route. She didn't really want me to. She knows that's unless you're awesome and amazing, which I don't think she thought I was. So she didn't push me for that. But in studio today, we've got some exciting talent. Ness in studio with my friend Phil over here. And Phil, tell us a little bit about your path for this and what you think what are we working on here to help happen in St. Louis?
Well, it's interesting. I found the way you used to come in here to the band play. That's how I contacted you. And I have talent development. I work with local artists like Ness. And I help with songwriting. I help with recording, producing, but not marketing. So that's what I do.
Sure.
And I play the keyboard. Right.
No, and I get it. And that's something that is the marketing piece is where people got to get the word out for what they're doing to make a difference and how they contribute. I would like you to give a little bit of your background. Go ahead and give me some of the background you've got, because a lot of people don't realize the talent we have here. And Phil is kind of a hidden treasure, everybody. Phil, tell us what you do in your background.
Yeah, well, I played keyboard for a long time out in Los Angeles. I toured for a couple of years with Marty Balin from Jefferson Starship. I helped start the band Plastic, which is now called Plastic Kings. Hi, Johnny Cruzy. And I look for talent here in St. Louis. I've done a lot of writing, but there's not a lot of outlets in St. Louis for local music, so I'm hoping Carter here can help us with that. And I'm hoping Ness is going to be a talent that can take off here in St. Louis. I have a small studio, home studio for demos and recording and writing. And there's a lot of studios here that do the same thing. The budgets, though, for bands to record and the places to play are few and far between. So,
well, that's what we want to try to bring some more excitement to. So, Ness, tell us, why are you so excited to be here?
I'm excited. I just love music. I love getting music out there, especially music that I genuinely enjoy myself. You know, it's one thing to play covers and play somebody else's stuff, but when you're writing and you're creating together, it makes it so much more fun when you can both enjoy it.
Well, that's the key for the whole idea behind music in general is that you have something that people will enjoy. Mm-hmm. How many of us spend our time, hard at work, 9 to 5 or whatever we do, sometimes late nights, sometimes, and it's stressful. So we all look for that place where we can get a little bit of reprieve, something we can kind of exude ourselves and go, I just want to lay back and enjoy some good. And I've actually studied this a little bit from a weird perspective, but I follow a guy named Jordan Peterson. A lot of people heard him a little bit, and some people think he's a big-time lefty. Sometimes people think he's big on the right. I just feel like he tells it kind of the way it is. And what he talked about is that music is such an affinity for humans enjoy it so much because it brings a sense of order. And when you get a symphony or a band or a group, and you've got the keyboardist and a drummer and a singer and a flute, and you bring all of that together for that musical, beautiful audio that we get to hear. I'm thinking about Audacity, the software program. When you have the Audacity program, not the Audacity, when you have that, and you can assemble something like that. That's what humans need more of to help them just deal with what's going on. Dates back to the tribal years, back when the groups around the world would get their groups together and play music together because it was something that brought unity. So tell me, guys, I'll give you both the camera on that. I'm putting the slider camera on. We got our highly priced, but I didn't say highly paid camera guy. He slides across back there automatically. Talk about who wants to take that question on about why music is so important?
Well, in St. Louis, it's kind of interesting that you bring that up because obviously a lot of people go out to the nightclubs. A lot of people go to hear cover songs. What we're trying to open the door to is that there's a lot of talent here in St. Louis, not just Ness, but Ness is who my focus is. And there's a lot of talent here writing music that we want people to hear. And so I guess I can't come up with the words to say how important that is for St. Louis to get behind the local talent here and make St. Louis a music scene like some of these other cities, like Atlanta, like what Seattle was at one time, New York, LA, Chicago. But you don't hear of too many, especially rock artists, coming out of St. Louis. You know, the hip hop scene's a little better here in St. Louis. But name the last pop rock band out of St. Louis.
Sure, yeah. You get back to where you start talking about it. You don't count Nelly as a rock band, really.
No, not at all.
But it's the last really big artist to come out of St. Louis. We're working with a guy named Willie J. Willie J now is essentially kind of just taken off. He attributes a lot of his climb. He said to me, Carter, being on the Cowboy and Judge show totally took me to the next level. He gave us a number. I was just like, on a percentage of 1 to 100, I'm not going to quote what he said. It was crazy. But to get that kind of exposure, so I have the liberty, the good fortune to have a TV show on ABC where we can pick whatever we want to talk about. And I think that music is such an essential part of it. And that's when you came to me, Phil, I thought this is a great idea. So we need to start highlighting some of the people in our community because they need that little spotlight. It all comes back, man. You help other people and you give them a little bit of exposure somewhere that can give them that boost. And maybe we can bring some good talent out of here.
I would love to see the original music scene in St. Louis grow and develop. Work together, not fight against each other. Work together. So.
Sure. No, I got you. Well, I'm going to show on the wall to your. Let me make sure I'm hitting the right button here. We're going to show Ness's video here. Here is Phil's Facebook page. So there it is, Phil. Tell everybody about what you put on your Facebook page and what you like to share with everybody. Because this is Phil Minardi, songwriter and instrumentals is what you
all
call
those people on the picture on that collage here are artists from St. Louis that I have worked with.
I'm going to click on that image and bring that up. And there you go. And you can see everybody there. Some great talent you've got on the screen that is right here in St. Louis homegrown. Pretty cool. Yeah. With that, let's jump over. I'm going to show off a little bit about Ness's page now here. So
yes,
Ness has, and he's a little younger than us, so Instagram is where
that's right. Yeah,
Instagram is the audience, target audience there. But it's just a new page here. You can see just getting started. But you've got a lot of great music and pictures out there, kind of share with what you're really about.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to bring the camera back on us. Tell us, Ness, how excited are you to be working with Phil on this?
Oh, me and Phil, you know, from the very first time I met him, funny story, I was working at a Denny's at the time, and he came in with a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt on, and I mistakenly thought it was Jim Kelly, the movie star, and he let me have it. But that sort of started a musical conversation, and I shared with him that I do originals, and we started writing. Our first one was Whacked Out World, and that one we sort of took on together as a reflection of just what's going on right now in the world and in our area specifically. And then Run That By Me is a little bit more of a personal one. I had a lot of fun writing that one because it sort of asks the listener to come up with their own story of what was that weird thing that happened. Wait, run that by me one more time. I think that one is the more relatable, more fun one. That one's a lot of fun to do.
Yeah.
Well, again, what we're trying to do here is bring in some of the talent that is sitting here in St. Louis. It just needs to be discovered.
Yes.
I was so fortunate, like I said, to be just and the whole connection that happened with Willie J was he was at a charity event. He was kind of their local guy who was talking about what he's doing to develop some music, and he did one song that did really big, and then it was establishing and that organization I worked with. It's the oh geez, now I'm drawing a blank, but Bob Emick Foundation. Yeah, and the Bob Emick Foundation, they give out awards for people helping youth sports. So they didn't actually give me an award for helping youth sports. They gave it to Jackie Joyner Kersey, and then they called me the next year, and I was like, who are you? Oh, Jackie Joyner Kersey. Oh, that's pretty big. So these guys do a great job of helping the community. And then it's these kind of connections you make. Like I said, so Willie was associated with the organization, and then I got to know him, and he's up and coming. And then we said, all right, we've got a spot. He had a sponsor for the other show to be on there. And then when he took that video and put it out there, and now look at what Willie J, I'm going to put Willie J up on the screen for everybody too to take a look at. But I'm literally just completely blew up as far as 166,000 followers now, I think. He's working with Eminem. And he's done all kinds of cool stuff. So with that, I was like, man, we can really work on this. I don't know if Phil even knew that part about what I'd done, but just knew what I was doing in the community, thought this could work together. And I said, you know what, we have one guy that I know he attributes some of what his climb to being on the show and that kind of stuff. So let's do more of this. And let's bring more excitement to St. Louis. So Phil, where are we going? Where are we going with this? I want to play the video here for everybody too. In just a second, tell me what's the next step for us? You think I guess we're gonna meet with Willie, right?
Yeah, we're going to meet with Willie, and hopefully he'll give us the advice as to what our next step will be. Do we put the video out or do we talk to play for a record company, play for an indie label, play for a manager, play for, or just start over again from scratch. Sometimes somebody will say, "That's really good. Let's do it again." You know, that old saying. So. Willie J, I'm hoping, Willie J, if you hear this, will help us out and help us with the next step.
Well, I'm going to put up on the screen here, everybody look at the wall again. This is Willie J's page, and it's pretty cool what he's done. And he's got our videos out there. This is where he'd already made it at this point, but he came to be on the Your Little Castle show. So that was pretty cool. And then you go on down and look at all the stuff he's done. There's this collaboration with Eminem. And what he's working with those guys on, being highlighted there, and then on down and look at what all Willie J has accomplished. And like you said, we just contribute a little bit to helping him do that, and we want to do a lot more of that. So here's where he was on the original Cowboy and Judge show. And boy, these are the kind of things, these are the kind of people we want to help highlight in our community and do more of. All right, with that, I want to put us all back on camera here, and I'll put it on the slider camera there. Oh, I'm not on yet. So let me go to the host cam. All right, everybody, so I'm going to put up on the wall here. We have it on the wall, actually. And now I've got a shortcut. We spent a few minutes program making our show a little more adaptive here.
Let's see if that button works.
Let's see if that button works to play the video that full rights, full control, because this is your guys' song. You own it. You created it from scratch. So let's put that up here for everybody.
It's a whacked out world. It's a whacked out world. Politics, we're in a fix. When telling lies wins you a prize. Prison profits, what a shame. Oh, it's a con game. Religious wars, revolving doors. And inside, know how to fry all the scams and cryptogram. Have you seen the cemetery? School shooting, city looting. There's a guy to run and hide. Link so we can think. GMO, should they go? Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why? Who can tell me why?
Well, there we go. I mean, we could watch the whole video if I would like to. We've got the we'll put that out there at some point, depending on kind of what Willie J tells us to do. We might make that video publicly available. Right?
Correct.
And figure out what we want to do with that. But I mean, that audio, that music, that video, like turned into a whole music video.
Yeah.
Really caught my attention. And so I heard Phil talk about Ness a number of times. Phil and I've had game planning sessions, if you will, right here in our studio. And after a little bit of discussion and after seeing that video, I'm like, this gets good, man. This is good stuff. Yeah. And so Ness, tell us how excited are you about the opportunity and what you're working on and working with somebody like Phil? Is this going to help you get to the next level?
Oh, I really hope so. And I feel like at this point in my life, I've worked with a couple of people, and I think now I've decided the time that I spend with anybody really needs to benefit myself. And it might sound selfish, but there's a mutual benefit of learning all of this stuff from Phil and writing songs together. And it's also helped me with some of my other projects that I'm working on and sort of learning what do you need to do in order to make a release, or what do you need to do in order to perform live. I feel like a lot that goes into it, and the manual did not come with it, so I came to this guy. He's kind of helping me along.
Well, mention to your schooling.
Oh yeah, of course. My background is in classical music. I did some time at UMSL, and I was in the orchestra. I played cello for my high school and college career. Now I'm picking up guitar for the past couple of years and making the transition. Of course, it's the same sort of daily practice and discipline that goes into playing at a classical level and the sort of caliber that I was used to. And now I'm sort of breaking into the live music scene in St. Louis. It's very different than the live classical music scene. Different players,
Right.
different characters, but similarities still.
Well, that's why I said we want to bring on the talent and anything that's helping to exemplify somebody who's making their little castle, their little world, a little bit better place.
Mhm.
And we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I mean, music is essential. I mean, people talk about the fact that it's therapeutic. There's actually music, doctor-related trainers, rehab facilities,
Yeah,
rehab
sure. Music therapy.
expert music therapy.
Yeah.
That literally they've learned that by playing music for people, it allows them to recuperate and recover and to get back involved with our little planet. Plus, just the release. I'll give you guys a little tidbit as Cardinal Cowboy, baseball guy, football guy. Every game, especially when I was old enough to drive, we got in the car, put the two 12-inch subs in the back, and we would play AC/DC. Which song? Because I'm back in black. I can't sing much of it or I'll get in trouble here. But we don't have rights to that song. But I mean, the music gave us that gave me that pumped up adrenaline that allowed me to just be ready for the next thing, to compete, to give more. And I think there's just so much that music brings to our little planet. And God knows the truth is, if you become a well-established, world-famous musician, you make a lot of money. And then you can really give back and help the community.
Pay it forward.
And pay it forward. Phil, talk more a little about that, if you would, and why you've been helping so many people for so long.
Well, trying to find the talent that I think can make it to the next level has not been easy. But I'm hoping that it's a stepping stone for other artists to put St. Louis on the music map. I've used that term for a long time. I want to put St. Louis on the music map. And that will be a feather in my cap if I can say I was part of that someday.
Well, and I think that's part of what the whole method here is, because it's not just St. Louis as a community that can benefit from this, but I hope, and if there are any musicians out there that are hearing this show or watching this show, or maybe if you've watched it live on ABC, or maybe you saw it later, get a hold of us and let us know about the musicians around the country. We're going to work on this St. Louis market, and we want to bring some of the excitement here that we've got, but we want to hear about this because our show can be seen all over the country. We've had guests on from all over. But don't you feel like music is a kind of that release that everyone gets, not just in St. Louis, obviously. The whole world needs this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phil, Ness, tell me a little bit about that. Why music is so important to you, what you think you're going to do with this.
Well, you touched on this a little bit earlier. Just I'll use the orchestra, for example, just because that's my background. You can have people of different age, race, background, social status, but we can all come together and play this piece of music. And you can even broaden it and say, not even playing, but maybe dancing. If we all like the song and we're all moving together, it's kind of getting us. Music, I feel like, brings people together more than anything else in the world,
It does, and I think that's so elementary to what we're trying to do on this little planet. I mean, as somebody who had an affinity, I'll tell the story. I've told it one other time, I believe, but Mom and Dad made me take piano lessons back in the day. And then they also made me go to computer classes. Every summer I had to go to some special summer program to learn more.
Oh, wow.
Both of them involved with education. That was kind of the mantra. They felt like the more education you got, but I was also a bit of a negotiator. And I said, Mom, I just don't want to keep playing piano. I just not enjoy it. I want to focus on baseball. And they both looked at me and said, look, my mom said in particular, you need something that rubs you the wrong way, but you just have to stick through it and go with it anyway. You need something that just doesn't go along with you all the time. And I said, Mom, I don't need piano lessons for that. I've got you. So that did not hit well with Mother as a matter of that kind of discussion. But it got me what I thought I wanted at the time, because they let me quit taking piano lessons, and I went to this computer programming school. That's what I ended up doing now. It's the computer stuff that we do here.
That's cool.
But isn't it? I mean, I almost kind of like so disappointed because I have a music ear. My mom said my music teacher was actually here and visited with us back when I was a kid, And she says, Carter, you could play anything. And you play it all by ear. You wouldn't even learn the music, but you could just listen to it and play it. Why did you ever quit? And I'm like, because I didn't like it. That wasn't my thing. And now I'm going back. I'm going, Phil, tell me how many people miss out on the opportunity to be involved with music, but they should have done it. And it's not too late, maybe. Talk a little bit that for me.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've heard stories. Of course, every time I'm at a nightclub playing, somebody will come up to me and say, "Yeah, I used to play the piano," or "Yeah, I used to play the guitar, and I wish I would have kept that up." "Oh, I used to play the flute." I think the person that knows me knows exactly who I'm talking to, and and it's a community thing. Like you've been using the word community. What's exciting too is when you get up on stage and you see all these people out there and you're playing a song and they're all enjoying it and involved in it.
Yeah.
That's hard to explain. That's hard to tell the feeling, that the rush that you get, when you're pulling off a song and everybody's into it.
Well, and again, we bring it back. So let's finish up here with a little more discussion about that. We've got, I've changed the wall with a back picture. Here's another. This is an image from Ness's video. What is it called? Whacked Out World?
Whacked Out World, yeah.
And I tell you, that is such an appropriate, and I don't think it's just a whacked out world based on the last 2, 3, 5 years. I think it's been a whacked out world since the beginning of humanity.
Since the garden.
And it's just, and I make my joke. I've documented, I think I'm the first person to ever make this joke. I've been saying it for years, and maybe it's going to get some people mad at me, but God got bored with the dinosaurs, and he created the dinosaurs because he was really bored with just watching stars and nebulas and black holes and all that fun stuff. And so then he finally said, we're going to create something really exciting called human beings.
Yeah.
And boy, the universe has never been the same.
No, it
since.
hasn't.
That's right.
And so now we all get to interact, and we're a lot smarter than the dinosaurs, but not quite as smart as God knows, our entity known as God is. And it just, but let's do the best we can to help as many of his creatures that exist on this little planet. And that's what I think you guys are doing a great job of. All right, let's play a little bit. We programmed our shortcut keys here. I've got what's called a stream deck here. Everybody wonders what this magical little device I press the buttons for on, but this helps me to automate this to keep the costs down so we don't have to bring in a production crew. We have another guy, and he used to be a buddy of mine. He used to be on ABC, all kinds of connect. He had a show on KMOX, and he said, Carter, you realize you're doing the job of like 12 people.
Yeah, I know.
I was an intern at Channel 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah, there was an audio guy video. Anyway, these days technology's made it a lot easier for people to produce these things, but we want to get the word out. So I felt like I got to take the opportunity when ABC approached me to do a show. I said, let's do it. And here we are 5 years later, still doing it, and we want to make more of that happen. All right, let's jump over here to the music on-off button I've got here. Let's see what happens when I press this. Turn our volume up. We have that particular song going over here, and here it goes.
I met a lady kinda shady, drove a Tesla trying to
What's the name of
impress
the
you.
song?
Said she found a secret
Run That By Me.
fantasy.
Run That
She
By Me.
said, would you be a Wookiee, feed me meat, and kiss me like you miss me, like we're living I Love Lucy. We only do this on Tuesday afternoons. Would you run it by me? Run it by me? Would you run it by me one more time? Run it by me? Yeah, run it by me. Would you run it by me one more time?
I'm going to bring that back down here. Tell me, Ness, what's this song about? What does this mean? What's the meaning behind this song?
The meaning behind the song is, I guess I could give it as an example. When somebody tells you something or says something to you, and you almost don't understand if they're speaking English or not, and you wait, run that by me one more time. One more time. What did you say? Now, whatever the reaction is after that depends on the listener. But it just takes a few examples of moments in life where it almost seems like a glitch, and you got to take a step back and question, what did I just hear?
Well, and that's a great point, because music is an expression of the way we interact with the world, right? And the things we've been through and how we react. And sometimes it's talking about something bad and how that affects somebody. Sometimes it's talking about something good. But I hadn't heard anybody talk about a song where it says, I just quite didn't understand that.
Yeah.
You got to run that by me one more time. I like the message there, because there's so often that we deal with that. And that's why so many people also connect with music, I think is the case. Phil, do you agree?
Yeah.
Because of what we hear in the music. In this case, wait a minute, what did you say? Run it by me one more time. How do people connect with music, and why do you feel like it's such an important part of our culture?
people always talk about the chorus of a song, the sing-along part.
Mhm.
And I think that's when people really relate to it. And I think Run That By Me has got a great one. But also in this song here, later on in the song goes a repetitive mantra that we want the whole audience to sing. Life is a freak show. Everybody want to go. And I think people are going to enjoy that. And I think that's what music does. It brings you together. And there's always, like I said, there's always that chorus that people want to sing along with. And that's what brings everybody together. You got to have a hook. I'm sorry, guys, but you got to have that hook. And I think this song's got that. One of the ideas we talked about on this song is putting the music out there and letting other people write their own lyrics of Run That By Me. Have the chorus, but other people can tell their story. We want to hear everybody's story about something weird that happened to them. It's an idea.
There we go. And make like a community contribution. People
Right,
could send
yeah.
you and say, hey, what do you think about these lyrics? If I could get Ness to perform the song again and throw in these lyrics, or something like that.
Or have somebody just get their, we give them the music and they record their own version of it.
Send it in.
Yeah. It's an idea. We've tossed it around.
Well, that's the great thing. It's very similar to what you get to do with your own show. This is my canvas, everybody.
Right.
I decide what we're going to talk about. We don't know what direction it's going to go a lot of times, but we know that we want to do something to share what we're going on in our little world, and how we can make everybody smile, how we can bring a little bit of excitement, and maybe just make a point sometimes to say, hey, things aren't that bad. That's what the whole point of the Cardinal Cowboy thing is. Essentially, I went through a terrible accident. We've talked about that a number of times. But I could have been a victim the rest of my life and been upset and pissed off if I wanted to be. But instead, I decided to try to figure out a way to make my life the best I could. And I want other people to understand and put on examples of people who are doing that. So that's why we wanted to have you, Phil, on here and talk with Ness, because this is a young guy who's taking his skills and showing, hey, man, I'm up and coming. I'm working hard. You're in the service industry full time.
That's right.
While you develop your music career.
Mhm.
And ultimately, you think you might make an impact with this music.
Hope so.
All right, everybody. Lots of fun stuff we've got going on in the community. We want to keep doing more of this. So anybody you know that deserves to have the spotlight highlighted and put on them, let us know. Phil, we appreciate you coming in here and sharing with everybody.
Thanks for letting us talk to you.
And do this, because there's so much that our little planet, they need more of this, I think. And people like you who've been doing it forever. I don't want to say how old Phil is, but I know how old he is. But he does a great job. He's been an instrumental piece of our community and continues to contribute all the time. All right, everybody. We appreciate you guys. Stay tuned for more. We're going to get back to you on this stuff, because that's the whole point of this show, the Your Little Castle Show. And we hope you find somebody that can also contribute. Get a hold of us. Go to yourlittlecastle, yourlittlecastle.com. Giddy up.